You cannot afford to miss a single moment of the next hour. Get ready to have your ideas about sexuality, love, and relationships blown wide open. It's time to get educated, entertained, and enlightened, as well as sexually empowered. You have now tuned into the Tantra Love, Sex, and Intimacy Show. Now, here's your host, Tanya Diamond.
Hi, everybody. I decided this time I was not going to start out with, I'm so excited, even though, quite frankly, I really am. So there's just nothing to be said except I'm so excited. Last week, we talked about women and orgasm, and there was such a flurry of email and phone and whatever activity from that experience, questions, that type of thing, that we have to talk a little bit more about it. And so, of course, I recruited a friend and a wonderful woman to talk with me about it. And she said just earlier, are we going to talk about orgasm first? Oh, of course, yes. Yes, we are. So with me today, I have Katherin Scott, the dating coach.
Hey, Tanya. Hey, I'm up for talking about this. Let's do it.
Right, exactly. One of the big questions was out there, actually came from a lot of the men, too. Well, I talked about how orgasm isn't really the goal in sex. I mean, it shouldn't be the goal. It's the goal. It's everything. Everybody's chasing the orgasm. And if they've had one type, then they're chasing the other type and the other type and the other type. And so we talked about how really it's not the goal. And that's just so difficult. And especially for men that are just trained that that's the only thing their purpose in sex is. If they want theirs, is we have to have ours.
It's their productivity measure.
Oh, the productivity measure.
Yes,
that's
from a business perspective.
Okay.
Yes,
So,
I completed the task.
Excellent. All right,
well.
check that box. Well, that's right, because yes, right. And so other big questions were, what about me? People wanted to know, well, have I always been just, take a breath and have an orgasm? I mean, what's that? How can I aspire to where you are? And I have to say that orgasm, like everything else in life for me, is about texture. I would be so completely bored if every orgasm was some extreme, monumental, whatever, blissful, whatever experience in the physical sense. Trust me, it would become boring after a while. Even the biggest pleasure in the world that you can experience physically you can become sated if that's the only experience you're ever having. That's my experience. Because
it's always the same. Yeah.
Right, exactly. Because I've had these long periods of, years of orgasmic bliss every time, and found myself going, okay, I know that's going to happen, and then that's going to happen, and
there's no mystery.
Right.
No surprises.
Yeah.
No in the moment. Where did that come from?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So on this journey, I've had everything from the sexual tension release orgasm that I talk about, which is the one where you're, holding your breath or your whole body's tense. You got all your focus on your clitoris, hoping. Oh, okay, wow. That was it. To just days long waves through my body physically. When I talk about living in a space of orgasmic bliss, which is where I live, what I'm meaning by that is the simple idea or belief, simple ability for me to take a breath and summon up physical and energetic orgasm. And that's because I'm now surrendered into the flow. But put me with a man that I am not connected to, and there is nothing.
It's not going to happen.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Now, so I can disconnect from the man and take a breath and have an orgasm, but
right.
Back into the experience of, especially if it's a man that's trying to get me off.
Right.
That act of trying to do everything just right.
It's about him in that moment.
Right, exactly. Yeah, right. I feel like, okay, I need to perform here.
Yes. Now it's your performance as well as his.
Right.
Gosh, I hope I get a good grade.
Right. And what if I didn't want to have an orgasm that day?
Well, then he's not going to be happy because obviously he didn't do his work.
Right. Yeah, and then it becomes all about me not having an orgasm.
Right.
Instead of the experience.
Yeah, that would be in your head.
Yeah. So I wanted to say that to everybody. I wanted everybody to understand that, orgasm is, anybody can be taught to get off, to have a sexual tension release, to be completely surrendered into the experience of orgasmic bliss. Let me just use that word. That's a totally different experience. That's not a doing. That's just a being.
That's a being in the moment, every moment.
And that's a whole different ballgame. So how do we get there? Well, it's a process, but it all starts with breathing. Thank you, Catherine. Catherine's been...
I'm a student. I know.
She knows about some of this stuff. And to that effect, I'm actually going to create maybe tomorrow morning, a probably like 5 to 7 minute MP3 that's going to be available free to anybody that comes onto my site about the basics of breath. I talk about breathing all the time. So I want everybody to do that. So I'm going to create an MP3 that just, you can just get on there and get it and go, okay, now I get what she's talking about, the fundamentals of. And from there, we can go further.
But breathing is sexy. Come on,
breathing
Tanya.
is the sexiest thing on the planet.
Absolutely.
We're
breathing.
Even heavy breathing, yeah. That can be good. It is. And so Catherine, do you have any burning question about orgasm?
Not from my perspective, no. I'm just wondering what were some of the questions your callers had.
Well, a lot of them were like, what is my experience? They thought that somehow I was just, we're all born that way, but they somehow that I've never struggled. And I've struggled. I've been in that space of trying to perform. I've been in that space of nothing's happening. I don't feel anything, no matter how good the man is doing.
Right.
And I've been in situations where, a hand across the back of my, lower back of my spine just set me off for hours. So
exactly.
I think I become more in the ability every day to summon up orgasmic bliss is easy for me at this point, because that's all about breathing. Mm-hmm. And then once again, still the physical really is about whether I'm connected to my partner.
Absolutely. But I also see it as a level of resonance just all over. I have days when I feel down and it's just like nothing is going to gel. Nothing with me, nothing with my partner, nothing with business, nothing. And then all of a sudden it's like, okay, I know better than this. So it's time to take a breath and to focus on raising my resonance.
Right.
And all of a sudden the phone starts ringing. All these happy thoughts come in. I feel connected to people again. And it's an awareness that has to happen.
Well, what you said, bringing the focus back to self, and I think living in pleasure has a big thing to do with it.
Of course.
How many women are out there really living in pleasure?
Most people look like zombies to me.
True.
And angry zombies.
Angry zombies, yeah.
Yeah.
So we don't want to live in pleasure. So that doesn't mean you wander around touching yourself all day long, though I do. But
it's true.
Not that
she
way.
does.
Not
I'll
that
tell
way.
you.
Not that way.
It's just embarrassing.
Can't take me anywhere. What is she doing? But it really means touching yourself in ways of kindness and love and pleasure. Mm-hmm. When we start peeling away the things that don't serve us in pleasure. Mm-hmm. And I work hard. I work hard.
You work very hard.
Yeah. And in fact, what are we doing recently here?
We are working on Bring It into Full Arousal. Live Life Now, the most amazing singles seminar of 2009 coming up on
March 7th.
Saturday, March 7th.
March 7th here in somewhere in the east side of Seattle area. East side. This side of the bridge. Where we are right now. But we're it. And so, I had to bust a move on that one. No copywriter there, but
let's just do it.
Let's do it.
Tanya did it.
So
it flows.
Yeah, it does. So I'm not saying to you that basically I wander around in the sitting on porch drinking mint juleps. I raise a child. I'm running a business. I've got tons of things going on all the time. Catherine told me I have to finish a book. Yes. I wasn't even writing. Oh, there it is.
Wait a minute.
So we are.
Have you forgotten our conversation about the excitement of writing this book?
That is very exciting. I'm very excited, like I am. So yes, the book will be coming out, being book signed on March 7th.
Absolutely, book signing March 7th for you and me.
So, ladies, men wanted to know how. Once again, I don't understand this whole process about orgasm, and I think it's still really difficult for men to get out of that mindset that they're not supposed to be, the goal oriented in this. I'm not quite sure what to tell you about that other than women in their 20s are very goal-oriented about orgasm. Most of them aren't having them, and so that seems like... And the other thing is, if they're not having them, they feel like they've let you down.
Yes.
So they don't feel like they're very good lovers because all women presume you want to just touch me and have me arching and screaming, and that makes you feel
Singing
powerful
out
as a man, right? Yeah,
Yep.
then you're powerful as a man, and I'm totally satisfied as a woman, and everything's good.
Life is good.
It's just not true. It's just not true. I've been with men that I've surrendered to in an orgasmic experience that was bigger than anything else, and the relationship wasn't really that great.
Mm-hmm.
The fundamentals of it, that chemistry of it was great. But others, so it's just not. That's not the complete package, and we need to get.
It's a
get off
process of knowing, just like anything in life is a process of knowing. And people say, "Oh, I want to be happy." It's the journey to happiness. Oh, I want to have an orgasm. It's the journey there.
Well, and for a lot of people, the more they chase it, the less it's available.
That's right.
So I say, let's give it a little bit of a rest here. Obviously, if you're a woman that has never experienced orgasm in your life and you're finding that that's a huge thing for you, then just contact me. I've got resources. I've got the knowledge. I can get you on the right path there. And if you're a man that says, every woman I've ever been with has never had an orgasm, then contact me too, because it's not your technique.
No, it's not about technique.
Right. And I can help you with that as well.
Right.
So, Katherin, we're going to do a big singles event.
We are.
And
it's going to rock.
And I'm really excited about it, of course. And it's you and I and Michelle Majors, who was on here last week with me. And what's our vision? What do we want to tell singles that we're just so excited why we want them there?
Well, it really is the complete package. I mean, I'm very excited that the three of us are working together on this. Because when we look at Michelle and her wonderful work, it really is about peeling off the layers of all the things that create the stuckness in life. Getting the clarity, getting the deserving that you can have this wonderful, fabulous life. And then I'm going to take the next step, which is how to get it, exactly how to get it piece by piece. And then you, Tanya, of course, are going to take it to the next level, right? How to really have that incredible intimacy in relationships, but we can't start with you, Tanya. We can't, because you have to be able to recognize your stuckness, recognize your deservingness, and remove those layers, and then be open to knowing how to get what you want. And then how to take it to the next level. I mean, by the end of the day, people are just going to be out of their minds with, wow.
On fire!
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, it's good. It's
a process.
I see it as not only, the three of us educating and helping people really get clarity, but even more so the type of people, the caliber of people that the singles will bring to this type of event.
Well, not to mention the fact that it is a place where singles can even meet.
Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
so you're bringing together men and women that are both interested in letting go of their past, empowering their future, being discerning, figuring out where they're not lining up to meet their match, and then how to create huge intimacy together.
And they're pre-qualified.
Right. Single,
available, and looking.
And into self-growth and new experiences. They're not sitting on a couch somewhere saying, well, I don't know if I should really do that.
Yeah. No, they show up.
So I think that's a really cool thing.
Yeah, and I love that we're doing it early in the year. Because anybody I love New Year's resolutions. I know a lot of people hate them. I love them. I think it's a good time for reflection. And a lot of people have already felt bad at this point in time in February that they haven't achieved their wonderful resolutions. So come now. If you want to have a fabulous end of the year, New Year's Eve, with the love of your life, start now. Don't start, November 26th. Gosh, I hope he shows up.
Well, you got to get off the couch to do that. Sitting on the fence waiting for something to happen generally doesn't work. Go out and find it.
Go for it.
And
get it.
We'll definitely be talking about this and the hype around this. Of course, we got limited seating. We've got a building. We can only fill the building and point that. We're past that. But here we're going to have a lot of fun. Katherine's come up with great ideas about drawings and giveaways and
lots of giveaways,
sorts of fun things like that too. And since I am the fun and I'm going to be there, it's bound to be a party.
You think?
I think so.
You think?
I think so.
I think it's going to start out by rocking just from the very beginning. So, if you don't have any energy when you walk in, you will definitely get it. You will get it.
So if you go to my website, learningtantra.com, and over to the workshop button and hover over that, you'll see Bring It down there on the sub hovers. Listen to me, I sound technical. And punch that, and you will get the page that gives you all the details. And sign up. Get there if you're single. And if you know is single, send them. Best thing they're probably going to be talking about. Well, if you're a couple, because there's couples out there that you know that person. You're a couple, and you got that friend. Mm-hmm. You know the one,
right?
That just you love.
Right,
and
but you don't know what to do, and they're tired of your blind dates that you've set them up with, and you promise never to do it again.
So you could do this.
Yeah, do this instead. Let us do the work.
The best birthday present ever, the best post Valentine's Day present ever, whatever it is.
Exactly.
Send them to Bring It.
Well, and there you go with Valentine's Day. If any of your single friends complain to you on Valentine's Day by not having the special someone in their life, say, well, you know what? If you wake up a year from now, next Valentine's Day, and have the same problem, are you going to be happy? And if they say no, and they say, well, then here's what you need to
March
do.
7th.
Yep, March 7th.
Be there.
Be there. And I don't want to hear any more complaining.
So we should say be there or stay single. And, of course, there's people that want to stay single, but they want to have a better dating experience.
True. But, I think a lot of that is deflection. A lot of people will say to me, I'm just really, really happy with my life. I really don't want anybody in my life. And I'm like, you're either in denial or you're lying to me.
Well, wait a minute. Hang on a second. But a single but not attached. But dating.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, there's different reasons for dating. And it's not all about long term. And everybody assumes, well, the reason you date is to find long term. That's not true.
And so that's one of the things we have to define.
Yes.
Right?
Right.
Because maybe there are people that are dating and they have that pressure of thinking they need to make a decision about somebody.
No, there's 4 reasons. People date because they want friendship. We all want friends in our life. Or they date for social reasons, right? Let's go dancing. Let's go to a movie. Let's whatever. Or they date for sex. And I'm going to let you handle that part.
Dating for sex.
Exactly. Or they date for long term, which is, why they come to me. But we make those assumptions, and I tell people, you have to be conscious in your conversations with people. If you just want to date to have fun, tell them. Don't let them assume, this is heading into this wonderful relationship. Tell them, I just want to have fun and date. I'm looking for someone to go to dances with.
Yeah, but, women are trying to be so casual these days because we're so afraid of, men worrying that men feel like, every woman wants to get married and have a baby. So don't women just say that sometimes? Okay.
That's about telling the truth. Okay, that's in my new book. T is for telling the truth.
Yeah.
If you really, really want a baby, that is a non-negotiable requirement. By the way, that's chapter N in my book.
Non-negotiable requirement.
Non-negotiable requirement. Right, the dating, or ABCs of dating.
This is a book that Katherin just published.
Yes, and so... you can't just say, well, I kind of sort of want a baby. You either want one or you don't. And so what you do is you tell the man, not in the first coffee date necessarily, but it is definitely one of your pre-qualifying or disqualifying questions. And you say, I want to have a baby. Do you? And if he says no, ladies, believe him.
That's the weird, that took me the longest time to figure out that men almost always at the beginning of your relationship, coffee date, whatever, will tell you the truth.
They tell the truth
about what's going on. So when a man says, I just want to be casual.
Yes.
He's serious.
He's serious about telling the truth. He's not serious about getting serious. He's serious about being casual.
Right. And we as women interpret that as, he hasn't fallen in love with me yet.
Exactly. I'll change him.
Once he falls in love with me.
Once he knows me, to love me is to know me is to love me. Yeah. He'll change his mind.
And sometimes they do.
Yeah.
How often do you wonder?
Well, look at Warren Beatty. That was a very long time, right? It just depends. And so if they say, I'm not interested in long term, immediately the women, I think, go into their head is like, oh, I just can't wait to change him. Forget about it.
Well, part of a woman's mission actually is to change a man.
To make him better. To be there to inspire him to be a better man. Let's put it that way.
Right. And this is a huge topic that people get all freaked out about the whole, women are built to change things. That's why we have babies. We're mothers. Right. We nurture potential, see potential, and inspire to change it. That's what we're designed for. So how do we, so you hear the whole thing, don't change any man, nobody's going to change, and yet as
there's
women,
a difference between black and white changing and nurturing the growth and development of a man's true potential.
And that is looking like what?
Well, nurturing is different than demanding change. Or,
I don't know. Tell me.
Oh, gosh. Okay. Well, first of all, a lot of men are wounded.
Yes. I talked about this, and I'll jump in because I talked about this with somebody the other day when they said, how come I can't find a man that's really a man? They're all kind of watered down. And I said, because men get wounded by their mothers at a very early age.
Correct.
And they carry it way deeper than women do.
Exactly. And they're not allowed to show it.
Yeah.
And society continues to beat them up. Men are wired to be attracted to women or not. It's pretty much black and white. And yet we make them wrong for that. Oh, they're so shallow. Oh, it's all about the looks. It is. It's how they're wired.
Right.
And yet, so they're carrying all these wounds. By the time they're 30 or 40 or 50, for heaven's sakes, they've been rejected how many times?
Well, and even if they haven't been rejected, they perceive rejection.
That's probably a better way to put it. They've perceived rejection over and over again. And so I tell my female clients, it's really about telling the truth to the man for themselves, being able to have that conversation about how they're feeling, what they're sensing, those kinds of things. Let me take an example. One of my clients, who's just a wonderful woman, was at a jazz club with a terrific guy. And it was during that crazy snowstorm that we had, right? And he had gotten a parking space really close to the door. And she had to park a couple blocks down the road in the snow and ice and all that stuff. At the end of their date, he went to his vehicle and she walked alone to her vehicle.
Uncool.
And I said to her, so you're swearing, you're freaking out the whole time. She's like, yeah, I was so angry. Oh, he's such a jerk. I said, he needed you to say, I really need you to walk me to my car. It would just be so wonderful if you would walk me to my car. He's probably sitting in there going, gosh, should I walk her to the car? Should I not walk? He's not a jerk. He's been rejected so many times or made wrong so many times or been with women so many times that said, of course you should know what I want. Even my 20-year-old son, he confirmed it for me. He's a very wonderful gentleman. And he said, Mom, I just tried to open the door for these two women on campus. And the first thing they did is they look at me. It's like, what? You think I can't open my own door? Right. And he goes, these are women, and this is why they're not getting any dates, because they act this way.
Well, and sometimes it's the first meeting date. Especially if it's the first meeting date, some men won't take you to your car because they also feel like that's being predacious. Because,
and then they have to, do I kiss? Do I not kiss? They go through all that nonsense, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff happening in the world isn't there? Yeah.
Uh-huh. But it's because it's the elephant. I'm not going to talk about it. It's uncomfortable. I don't know how to talk about it. So I teach my clients how to talk about it in a way that is comfortable and it's expressive.
What I want to know is, did they make a prior date? Had they made a prior date commitment before they walked to their cars? Or did he say, I'll call you?
He did the I'll call you thing.
Yeah, so he wasn't interested. That's another reason he didn't walk her to her car.
So that's true. But still, as a woman, I would want a man to walk me to my car.
Exactly. Yeah, well, and men hear this. I go up to Vancouver and hang out with the lifestyle transformation guys, which are students of mine that help men. They're kind of like in your business. They're men's coaches, not sleazy seduction coaches, but ethical seduction coaches.
Really, there's those guys.
There
out there?
They're actually not teaching men to seduce or pick up women. They're actually teaching men to be the best they can so that they can offer value to women.
Mm-hmm. Actually become a 10 to attract a 10.
Exactly, right. And so I go up there and I do seminars for these guys. And I noticed one day after a seminar, it was dark outside, everybody left and left me to walk with my bags to a parking garage across the street by myself. Now, I'm certainly empowered. To do that.
Right.
And since most men are scared of me, it's probably pretty safe.
Probably the way you hold yourself,
maybe
Tanya.
Maybe so. But I called the guys up and I said, you guys are missing some pieces here.
Mm-hmm.
How come there weren't like 5 or 6 or 10 or however many men saying, you're leaving. Do you need assistance? What can I do for you?
And the smart men should definitely do that so that they could get 5 minutes of your time.
Well, there's that.
alone.
Right. There's the smartest thing, right? But that's the scary part. Maybe they'd have to kiss me.
Maybe you would try. Ooh. But I've had the same experience at these seminars where men are trying to learn how to date. And I will specifically at lunchtime park myself in a table right by the entrance of the restaurant where we're all supposed to eat. And I'll make sure they all see that I'm alone. And I swear, I was at one with 800 guys. One man had the courage to come and say, "Can I sit with you and get, free advice for lunch?"
Right.
I said, "You're awesome. Sit.
Right.
I'll talk."
Exactly.
And of course, the next day he talked it up and everybody wanted to talk to me the next day. I'm like, but no, who's the courageous guy?
Right. So how do we help men? Because, we're men's advocates. I know you love men just like I love men. Mm-hmm. I am definitely, she says, definitely men's advocates. I don't want men to feel dissed by this. I want to somehow figure out how to help inspire men to be the warriors that we have not allowed them to be. Mm-hmm. Well, I was talking to Craig on the phone today, and I was explaining to him I'd had a conversation with a woman the other day who was saying a man had offered her a bite of food, and she said, "No, thank you." And he goes, "That wasn't a request." Mm-hmm. And she's like,
she didn't get it.
Okay,
yeah.
I'll take that food now. And almost all women deep down want a man that's commanding. We don't want jerks.
No.
We don't want
we
macho.
Want choices. We want a man who's strong and we can feel safe with.
Because that's the ultimate ability then to surrender completely.
Yes.
Which of course makes, and that's not submit.
No. No.
To this man. And even, you're a strong woman. I'm a strong woman. Yeah. To the man that walks up to me and says, "I want you." Mm-hmm. Wow. Mm-hmm. Okay. Instead of the man that's like, "Oh, well.
Do you think you'd like to kind of go out sometime?"
Right.
Yeah.
How do we help men to walk into that space?
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with the changes in our society. And so many women, especially here in Seattle, have these incredible, powerful jobs. And they're supposed to be in this male world and showing all their testosterone all day. And they don't know how to turn it off. They don't know how to be that feminine being with a man. And I think the statistic. We have the most women living alone in this city.
I didn't know that.
In Seattle. We have the most women living alone in the entire country is right here in Seattle.
Now, is that by choice?
I don't know. That wasn't part of the statistics.
Because that's what I'd want to know. Do we have the most women that are totally comfortable, that are dating but not attached? I mean, yeah. So
right.
that's an interesting statistic.
We also have another one. We have the most people online dating in Seattle as any place in the world.
Okay, so we have the most online dating people,
hiding behind the computer,
and the most single or most women living by themselves.
Correct. And we wonder why we don't get together.
Well, that's interesting. Mm-hmm. It's a very curious thing.
It is,
and I think I'm going to have to ponder that while we take a moment and take a break. Should we ponder that?
That's a good thing to ponder.
We're gonna ponder that. We'll be right back after our pondering. Just a moment.
One of the 40 million sexless couples in the U.S.? Are you wondering why having sex leaves you feeling lonely? Are you suffering from the myths of sexual dysfunction? Do you know in your heart that there has to be more than what you're currently getting out of making love? To rid yourself of sexual ignorance, get more out of your lovemaking, and find out more about spiritual sexual connection, then you need to check out www.thetantrateacher.com to receive your free copy of the ebook called Secrets of the Tantra Teacher. Don't suffer another minute without the sexual loving and ecstatic bliss you were born to receive. Get to www.thetantrateacher.com right now. That's www.thetantrateacher.com.
Contact Talk Radio.
It's on the internet.
It's consciousness in action.
Information.
It's your connection to empowering information.
It's what matters to you.
It's on the internet.
Contact Talk Radio.
Listen live.
Join in on the online chat.
Contact Talk Radio.
We're making a difference.
And leading the way at contacttalkradio.com.
Is your sex life non-existent? Do sexual dysfunctions leave you soft? Is internet porn getting more than you are? Or are you paying more attention to porn than your partner? Have you tried talk therapy and it got you nowhere? You are not alone. You can be freed from sexual shame, guilt, and dissatisfaction. A visit to the Tantra teacher is in order. Call now and mention you heard the Tantra teacher on the radio and get a very special offer. Stop waiting for a miracle and call right now. 206-276-2735. Phone consultations or in person will get you the information you need to be successful in your love life. But you have to call now. 206-276-2735. Stop making excuses. Call the Tantra teacher. 206-276-2735.
This is ContactTalkRadio.com. Consciousness in action.
Now is your chance to be part of the show. Call 877-230-3062. Call in with your questions or thoughts and talk with the host and their guest. Again, that number is 877-230-3062.
We're back after our pondering.
That was
and
good pondering.
You said something pretty interesting. Well, the thought that there are more single women living on their own, or there are more women living by themselves here in Seattle, might have to do with the amount of money that women might make.
That have the ability to make here in Seattle.
Yeah.
Right, because of the industries that we have. So it's a little bit different in the Midwest. It may be very similar on the East Coast, though.
That's really curious. The statistic there that married men are the happiest men and single women
healthiest,
mm-hmm, and but not so for married women.
No, isn't that interesting? It doesn't go both ways.
Intimacy needs being met or not met, and then there's that whole coffee shop friendship we touched on. What's that about?
Well, there's a wonderful place here called Third Place Books, and the reason it's third place is because the first place is our home, and a lot of people don't invite people into their homes, but that's when you really get to know someone. The second place is, is your place of work. And we can't get into people's works these days. There's cipher locks and guards and security. You just don't go.
Right.
So the third place that we meet is in coffee shops. And I actually saw, we were, I think, number 8 in the top 10 places to date. And they said one of the criteria was the number of coffee shops you have in your town. And I thought, it's in reverse proportion. If you have too many coffee shops, people are never inclined to go into their homes and welcome people in. And you travel the world, especially in Europe, you always get invited into people's homes.
Right.
But not in America.
So our level of intimacy in America is in decline.
It's very much in decline.
It's not around. That is curious. So then with the coffee shop dating, it reminded me of this online, because you have a specialty in online dating, right? And helping people with that, right?
With their profiles, big time.
Right.
I can take them to 1%, guaranteed success.
1%?
1%. From the boring black and white resume to the incredible, inviting, in-color invitation to meet the person.
Wow. From black and white boring to colorful invitation. We like that.
It is. I actually had a guy that just called me the other day, and he says, "Oh my God, I've got this horrible problem, and it's all your fault." And I said,
Volume solves all problems.
Volume, exactly. And he was the guy that every time I told him to do, no, I don't want to do that. No, I said, I don't care. If you want success, do what I tell you to do. Every step of the way he pushed. And so when he got on the phone, he's like, I did what you said. And oh my God, I can't believe it. I haven't even finished it. And all these women are contacting me. And I said, really? I go, now.
Can you bring it in person?
Oh,
as well as you can write it?
He can bring it. See, that's the thing. This guy said he was always on because of his looks. He's so gorgeous. He just figured he could just get women because of his looks. And I look in the profile and I go, you are just boring average Joe in your profile. What? You know? So I told him how to take it up a notch and get women to contact him, which is very unusual online.
That's true. So we've got the online dating thing, which is taking away. I mean, so people are not actually trying to meet, do you think, in person anymore? Or most people just going to their jobs and going home and getting on their computer?
That's about it. And a lot of people will stay online dating, quote unquote, dating someone for 4 or 5 months and think that they're in love. It's an illusion. It's total illusion.
I have to tell you, and I have taken trips into the cyber world of love. All right.
You're still smiling. Look at you.
Oh my God. I have to tell you, I love the cyber world of love.
It's very enticing, isn't it?
I have to tell you, I if I don't have time in my busy life to have love, I can find it online in the cyber, and all I need is a man that's eloquent.
Eloquent.
An eloquent writing man, and I am smitten. I don't care if I meet him. I just want him to write eloquence. Now, maybe this harkens back to the romantic days where we used to write to each other.
Well, it's also possibly your love language, those words of affirmation.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. The eloquence. I like that.
Eloquence,
yes. Elegant eloquence.
Okay. Elegant eloquence writers.
Now you know that. So I start emailing me eloquent
Exactly.
letters.
That's a good subject line.
Not that whole, like, you think, with all the what do they call them, abbreviations and all that stuff.
Text.
Yeah but it is really easy to find. And I've frequently found that you meet the person, so this can be this completely eloquent writer, and in person they actually can't speak.
Correct.
So don't spend a lot of time if you're actually looking for something. I mean, I that's how I get my kick. Every once in a while, I need my elegant fix. I find some elegant writer, and have my little virtual dalliance.
What's your name on Match.com?
Yeah, my little dalliance, and then I'm done, and then I'm happy.
Right. Well, it is amazing. I think that's why the social networking is so popular, because it really does help people feel connected. And I was so excited to hear that now social network sites outnumber porn sites.
No way.
Yes way. We have made turn the corner.
But you're talking webcams now. Social network people with webcams, because the sex workers have gotten smart too, and they're using social network sites.
Well, there you go.
So I'm thinking that maybe it's just switched and they're using their webcams on social network sites.
But I think that society had to switch first, and I think it has a lot to do with the generations.
Maybe, but you know what? If your spouse or whatever cruises your computer and finds a social network site, they're not worried. That's what I'm telling you. I'm sorry that I have to go.
Don't burst the bubble.
I'm so sorry.
I was just so happy about society, and now I have to ponder that one too.
You're going to have to ponder that one, and I have some personal knowledge of this. This is why I'm letting you know. I believe that basically I don't think porn's going away that way because of that whole men needing to procreate in lots of different women. And if they can't physically do it, they visually do it.
Oh, I don't think it'll go away.
And so or maybe it is that, the reason social, now here's one, I can build your bubble back up. Maybe social networking sites are higher because women are doing them. And there's more women out there, wanting that connection. So the population of women has increased in that and overshadowed the men that are just trying to get off.
Do you have any statistics to back that one up?
God, I never have statistics, Catherine. I don't have anybody's statistics, but ones somebody tells me about, because
there you go.
It's all about the gut level of being in the flow and the fact that there's really no original thought.
Exactly.
And that we're all connected. So if you want information, and being open will actually provide you those insights and information if you trust your brain.
Right. And get clear in what you're asking for.
Right.
What you want to know.
Last time you were on, I was telling you, I'd had that really difficult problem of being so open and non-clear, because everything is potential. Oh, that's cool. You're working at a gas station. That's groovy. No problem. You're not eloquent. Well, you could get eloquent. So
here's a writing class you can go to.
I am the mother of potential.
Yes,
of looking for people's potential. And so I've been dabbling a little bit in what you were talking about discernment, in that
clarity
and discernment. And I'm pretty clear. I like being single, but I think I want a couple of lovers.
Oh,
yeah.
So where are you taking applications?
Send them to learningtantra.com.
There you go. Okay. Thought I'd help you with that.
Thank you. Applications for lovers now being accepted. I have crossed the line, though, on age. At the Sex and Taboo show, I actually had a 22-year-old, gorgeous 22-year-old, be my demo model. Mm-hmm. And I have to say that I've decided now that that's too young. That's a big step for me.
Boundaries. It's good.
I guess. So
was he nervous being your model?
He was. It was quite entertaining because he had apparently never seen me do my kiss. Uh-huh. And he's standing there. There's like 250 people. Now, you know the energy of 250 people that all of a sudden are glued on everything you're doing. Right. And we're standing there, and I'm, coming in close, and all of a sudden he goes, I don't know if I can kiss you. I was laughing, and I said, just breathe. You've got to just breathe. Just breathe, boy. Just breathe. It's all fine. It's all fine. Because he didn't realize I wasn't actually going to lock lips with him. Exactly. Well, I have a DVD of my sweetie that I volunteered to be your model. Do you have that DVD? Time. I do. And, he was a little bit nervous. Yeah. That on Facebook, and I do Facebook. Do you do Facebook? I'm on Facebook. No, we're on Facebook. I'm on Twitter. I'm tweeting on Twitter. We're tweeting on Twitter, and we're facing on Facebook. I have to tell you, on Facebook, I just did this thing, the 25 random whatever things. I just got one of those. So it was pretty fascinating. So, because I was told by somebody, Tanya, we're voyeurs in life, really. A lot of people are voyeurs, which is why the social networking, Gary's hand just went up, why the social networking is taken off so well. And we are voyeurs. We watch reality TV shows. Honestly, we do all of these things. I'm studying behavior. I love it. Looking at everybody else. So somebody said to me, Tanya, oh my God, you're on Facebook, you're on Twitter. Do you know how many people want to know about you? Mm-hmm. You're a sexual intimacy expert, you're a Tantra teacher, you have this amazingly big life. They want to know. You need to do things like the 25 random whatever things about Tanya. So that's on there now. Oh. It is. It's on there. 25 weird, strange, whatever random things about me. Random thoughts. Okay, I got to go check it out. Right, exactly. Yeah, I just got one the other day and it said, now I need to do it. Like, you're a public figure. If you're a public figure, your fans deserve to know. Okay. They want to know you more. They want to know those weird things. What's one of my things? I always have my toenails painted either red or orange. Isn't that nice? Yeah. That says a lot about you. I like it. Okay. I like I'm sad that so many men choose to be intimidated by me. That actually makes me sad. That's number 20, I think. Because somebody actually wrote, so one of the men that is intimidated of me in my life wrote and said, guilty, but it's all out of love. And I'm thinking, okay, it's all out of what you need to work on, sweetie. So what can we offer? Let's offer some men tips to powerful women. What tips to the powerful woman? What do? They see us. They desire us a lot of the time because powerful women also usually are comfortable in their bodies. Mm-hmm. Right. Not always, but generally comfortable in their bodies. Know what they're after. They're not completely dependent. Do men really want dependent women? No. Some men do. Some men do. Face it. Yeah. Yeah. Some men want women to control. There's a gamut out there. Right. But I think most people are looking for a partnership these days, an equal. And so men are afraid they can't step up to be the equal. Maybe. So how do we help them? What do we do? Well, first, I go back to the body language. It's all about confidence. When you watch a person, and I watch people all the time, it's just really fun to do. She's a voyeur too. Yeah, see, and especially at dances, I love to watch between the darkness and the light, the hall at the light, and then they walk into the darkness of the dance. Right. I love to watch how people behave. And typically, men will scurry through the threshold and then find a wall to stand up against, and then they will calm down and relax. Women will walk through that threshold, and they will look for a chair, immediately sit down in a chair, and then they will relax. And once in a while, you'll see this amazing person. Yeah, Tanya's like, yeah, that'd be me. That'd be me. Hello, world. Here exactly. I am. The party can start. I'm here. And what's interesting is all the people face this person. Who are they? Who are they? Right. I want to get to know them. So, fake it till you make it sometimes. Pull your shoulders back. Right. Take a deep breath. Get comfortable with eye contact. And
the best pickup line in the world is, "Hi, how are you doing?" I know that's, well, and people pay big bucks for that. It's like, "Hi, how are you?" That's really simple. You don't need a pickup line, especially you don't need somebody else's pickup line.
Yeah. Hi, how are you? That's great. I'm going to try that one.
You think that works?
Yeah, I don't know. I'll try it. Mine has always been something like, "Hey, do you want to go home and roll around in spaghetti sauce?"
Well, pattern interrupts are good.
That one kind of goes over sometimes. I think I always tell men the biggest seduction line is, "Tell me more."
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And what else?
What else? I'm curious about you.
I'm curious. Yeah. And then what happened? Yeah, it's not all about them. It's really getting curious about the other person.
So men get nervous. They start to talk about themselves a lot.
A lot. They ramble.
Is that what happens?
Yeah. Yeah. And so that's when I talk to people about getting courageous. Be able to just stop and in that moment make light of yourself. Well, there I am rambling along. I'm probably just nervous. It's because you're so beautiful.
I know. You know what? Now, so the men's seduction community just kicks my butt every time I go up and teach this kind of thing. They're just so angry at me because you're not
teaching technique.
You're not supposed to do that. I tell a guy, look, if you're a guy that's kind of awkward and kind of shy and not socially really on board, right? Because you haven't had practice, and you stop a woman to give value, you walk up to him and say, "I just wanted to tell you that I think you're absolutely beautiful." Mm-hmm. And you stop, and all of a sudden she actually responds to you, and you have no idea what to do. You go, "Wow, gosh, now this is awkward."
Right?
I'm nervous.
Well, and the thing is, what men don't realize is when they say something really silly, the women that laugh already like them.
That's right.
But what do the guys do? They go after the challenge. She didn't laugh. I'm going to go after her. And in the meantime, all these other gals are like, "Well, what about me? I like you."
But then we come back to that physical package. The
True.
one that they're talking to has the physical package that they're looking for.
Not necessarily. A lot of time it's about the challenge. She didn't laugh. I'm going to make her laugh. I'm going to make her like me. And then they wonder, why doesn't anybody like me? Because you're only looking at the ones that don't like
that don't like you.
That don't like you. Go for the ones that just laughed. And so if a shy guy says, "Well, now that's awkward. I didn't expect you to stop and look at me."
Right.
If she laughs.
She's disarmed. It was charming.
It was charming, exactly.
Right. Unless you wanted a super smooth guy.
Right.
And I don't know. Do we all want super? Does confidence mean super smooth?
No, not the super smooth where it's not genuine. We want someone that can take good care of us and we can feel safe with, so we don't always have to be the high testosterone woman. We want someone that we can be feminine around. And so, if a guy's a little quirky, that's fine. But if he's really unconfident, that makes a woman then think, well, now I have to be the male in this role. And it makes her uncomfortable. And I think a lot of times that's what causes the nagging and the bitchy, and instead of the soft feminine, because they're afraid to let their hair down in front of him.
So whose job is it? Is the woman's job to step down into a feminine space to meet the man?
Step down? Step up, honey.
Or is it? I didn't even get that question out. Or is it the man's job to step up higher than where he is?
It's both people's job to really work on being who they were meant to be. Work on their own issues. People will say, especially online, "I don't have any baggage and I don't want you to have any either."
Oh, I love that. No, comes with no baggage. I'm thinking, wow.
Well,
who's that over two?
It isn't. Unless they were born yesterday. By the time you're 3 months, you've already got baggage,
I know,
right?
Exactly.
So those are the people that they have baggage. They've just zip-locked it and duct tape it. And I don't care how big your bags are. I want to know that you've gone through it. And
you've opened your bag.
You've opened it. You've looked through it. And you said, "You know what? This is a problem. I need to work on this." Or this is always going to be something, that's a problem. That's okay. I want you to know what the things are. But work on them.
So it's not that we want perfect men.
We don't want perfect men. No.
Because what is a perfect man anyway?
Well, we're not perfect, so we don't want perfection.
So we want genuineness?
We want genuineness. Absolutely. We want real. We want someone that can, look
Ball
you in the
scratching,
eye
beer drinking.
No, we don't want that. I don't want that.
I lost my headphones on that one.
I want men in control of their bodily functions. Okay. Yes, that's my criteria.
I don't care.
Oh no, it's a big thing for me.
So apparently, but there you go. Men just, I mean, really, they want a blueprint to make us happy.
But is it always the same? It's not. Not for every woman.
So why are they looking for our blueprints instead of their blueprint?
There's the question.
Right, because that's what they're doing.
Because they're going outside of themselves to find the answers. Just like they're going to these seduction places where they say, give me A, B, C, D, exactly what to say, exactly what to do, so I know I can score. I know I can get a woman.
Well, these guys up in Canada won't do that for them, which is cool. They actually make them step into their own space.
Yeah.
So if we all had our own blueprint and weren't trying to be somebody else's, what would happen?
Wow. Boy, I think we'd be living life fully in full arousal, do you think?
Living life in full arousal, which brings us back full circle.
Oh, my. Yeah.
There she goes. What is it? Nice segue, Katherin. If you're single and you're anywhere within 400, 500 miles of Seattle.
Come to Seattle in springtime. Come on. It's a beautiful place.
Katherin and I and Michelle Majors, who's an equally dynamic, lovely woman, fabulous, are going to be doing Bring It Full Arousal, Live Life Now seminar, the single seminar. There we are in stereo. March 7th here. And you can get to the website at learningtantra.com and look under workshops and hover there and you'll see Bring It and punch on that button and get the info and get there. Katherin, your book, what's it called?
ABCs of Dating. Simple Strategies for Dating Success. And you can find that on my website, www.katherinscott.com. And Katherin is spelled Katherin.
No E on the end.
No E. Katherin with a K, no E.
And if we forgot that, what might be another site that we could look for you?
MakingLoveWorkForYou.com.
Making Love Work For, with the number 4.
Number 4, letter U.
Yeah. Oh, Making Love Work For You, Katherin Scott. Katherin, you have the same issue I have. You know, as people say, how do I contact you? Tanja at learningtantra.com. Tanja, Tanja. She and I are forever spelling our names. Should we take, what are those words? Aliases?
Oh, like everybody else does?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You know, but I could never come up with one. I just tell people, just Google dating coach, and I'm always 2 or 3 at the top.
Right,
so
and if you Google the Tantra teacher, you find me. Mm-hmm. And Learning Tantra, of course, that's pretty easy. That works. So those are all our contact info. We know that breath, I'm going to talk about the MP3 I'm going to be giving you. If you go and sign up on my site, it'll be up pretty soon, probably in the next couple of days.
That will be nice.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody, because I talk about it all the time. Mm-hmm. Somebody kicked me in the butt and said, hello, excuse me. You talk about it?
Yep.
Why can't I find it? Oh, that's right. Because I was waiting for the big deal, but I can just do an MP3. The other thing that's interesting is people need to know that if you want to subscribe to my radio show, you can go to iTunes, look under spirituality, stick in my name, and you can subscribe, and they will come to your iTunes store, and you just plug into your computer, and boom, downloads my radio show.
I love technology.
Isn't that cool?
It is very
cool. So then you
cool.
can just be wandering around listening to the radio show whenever it works for you. Or you can find them on my site. You can find them on Contact Radio's site. You can find them everywhere. In the meantime, get to twitter.com. Mm-hmm. Get to facebook.com. Mm-hmm. Send me an email. Say, I want to be your friend so you too can voyeur.
Tweet with us.
Tweet and Twitter and Facebook with us. I'm not doing MySpace. I don't know. I like Facebook better.
No, I like Twitter. I tweeted, I think, about 5 times yesterday.
Right. And if you don't know what we're talking about, get there and look and see what it's all about, because it's definitely a great tool, not only for businesses, but for social. And if you're there, you're going to find out about our events way faster than everybody else, because I'll talk about the event that I'm planning before I put it on my website that's planned.
Correct.
So you'll always be in the know. And we are going to wrap this up. Thank you so much.
Oh, Tanya, it's
Katherin.
always a pleasure.
Yeah, it is always fun, isn't it?
It is.
We do have a good time.
You're awesome.
I'll have to come
You're amazing.
I am amazing. Thank you. We'll have to come to your house one day so we can actually be friends. And then I'll invite you to and then I'll invite you to my house, and then we'll be official friends.
There you go.
Because we kind of are sitting in each other's workplace.
Yeah,
already
we do, don't we?
Too. Yeah. All right, Seattle. All right, everybody in the world listening to me, thank you very much. I'm getting emails from all over the world all the time with phone consults and everything. I love you guys. Appreciate those phone calls that my fans. I feel I have fans now. Isn't that cool?
You do.
I love you guys.
I'm a fan.
Thank you.
Hey.
Thank you. It's very cool. We're out for the day, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
You have been listening to the Tantra, Love, Sex, and Intimacy Show with your host, Tanya Diamond. Don't miss next week's show at Thursday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Until then, visit our website at www.tanyadiamond.com. That's TANJA for more information on workshops and classes.